Old Main and Austin Hall serve as the heart of Sam Houston State University. The story of Austin Hall, the original building on campus, has a unique tale that journeys through Texas history. Old Main would eventually join Austin Hall, becoming Texas's first building to be purposed for teacher training. The rich history of these two buildings helps one to understand how Sam Houston State came to be. Nestled among the piney woods of East Texas, Huntsville was founded in the 1830s by a bold adventurer named Pleasant Gray. The city emerged as a trading post and social center in the mid-19th century. Named after Gray's hometown of Huntsville, Alabama, in January 1845, the city of Huntsville was incorporated, and the following year it was selected as the seat of Walker County. In as early as 1844, with a population of roughly 900, Huntsville's school system was up and growing thanks to a 5-acre land grant from Pleasant Gray. The Brick Academy, who is also referred to as the Huntsville's Male and Female Academy, opened in stores and was later chartered as Huntsville Academy in April of 1846. Reverend Daniel D. Baker, one of the more dynamic and mission-oriented Presbyterian ministers in Texas, was appointed in June of 1849 by the Presbyteria of Brazos to a 3-man committee whose job it was to evaluate the area for an acceptable location to establish a Presbyterian college. Governor Wood signed into law the Charter Act to incorporate Austin College in November of 1849 after receiving approval from the state legislature. The Act to incorporate Austin College also set into place the original Board of Trustees for the college, a group of 13 men who would oversee the college's planning and organization from the ground up. The end of 1849 and beginning of 1850 found Reverend Daniel D. Baker serving as President Pro Tem for the Presbytery until a president could be elected by the Austin College Board of Trustees. Reverend Baker would nominate Dr. Samuel McKinney to be the college's inaugural president. William Barrett, with an estimated $2.27 million budget, set out to design and construct Austin College, a building that would serve both the community and its students. Plans were made, reviewed, and tweaked by the Board of Trustees and finalized in the spring of 1851. The first building constructed as part of Austin College's charter would later be referred to as Austin Hall. From its conception, events in Austin Hall's long history reflect the importance of education to the people of Texas and the citizens of Huntsville, and the struggle and effort necessary to achieve it. Using soft sand molded bricks forged at the state penitentiary located in Huntsville, the cornerstone for Austin Hall was laid on St. John's Day, June 24, 1851. The board had hoped that Austin Hall, whose construction began in the summer of 1851, would be complete and ready for classes by the start of school in August of 1852. That was not the case, but amidst construction still going on, classes began in the building in October of that year. The building was finally finished in 1853. It housed 10 classrooms in its 2 stories, 2 of which were built oversized for the use during school assemblies. Austin Hall is a 2-story rectangular structure. It is the combination of the columns, the large wood cornice, and the building symmetry that define and characterize it as a Greek Revival style. Austin Hall's Greek Revival design, quite popular in antebellum Texas, conveys strength, refinement, and exemplifies the ideals of the classical education taught to those earliest college students. The Old Main building at Sam Houston State University means different things to different people. It was the second building to be erected at Sam Houston in 1889 and is only a few feet from the Austin College building. After Austin College was moved to Sherman in 1876, the citizens of Huntsville petitioned Governor Roberts to build the first teacher training, or normal school, in Texas. School administrators chose Galveston architect Alfred Mueller to design the new building. Originally from Germany, Mueller graduated from the prestigious Royal Academy of Architecture in Berlin. He immigrated to the United States, first working in New York, then Washington, D.C., and finally Galveston, Texas in 1886. Mueller was in constant disagreement with the supervising architect Edward Northcraft and the builders A.J. and J.O. Wilson. They argued extensively over the foundation of the building, Northcraft and the Wilsons stating that it was unstable, it would not hold the enormous building. Ironically, it is the only thing that remains of the building. The 2-story Victorian Gothic style structure was 157 feet long and 92 feet wide, and the first floor was comprised of recitation rooms, or classrooms. The second floor was completely dedicated to the Sam Houston Memorial Hall, which could seat up to 1,500 people. The Old Main building had 23 stained glass windows commemorating educational leaders and significant events in Texas history that surrounded the building. Remember the Alamo and Remember Goliad were two of the more prominent windows, in addition to the center window on the north side of the building that honored one of the university's founders, Sam Houston. Alfred Mueller died in 1896 of typhoid fever. Not long after his death, Edward Northcraft was commissioned to design and build an Old Main building for Southwest Texas Normal College, now Texas State University. Northcraft borrowed heavily from Mueller's design of Sam Houston's Old Main building. In the wee hours of February 12, 1982, freshman student David Clement and his friends noticed something that looked like steam emanating from the Old Main building. They immediately ran to find a security guard to report the fire. Fire trucks came from Conroe, Livingston, Madisonville, Navasota, and all points in between to fight the fire. When the firemen finally realized that they were not going to be able to save Old Main, they turned their attention to saving Austin Hall. 16 hours later, the blaze had been extinguished and Sam Houston State had a gaping hole where the Old Main building once stood. Austin Hall was left severely damaged by the fire as well. Rebuilding costs for Old Main were estimated at over $15 million, and while the legislature refused funding, Sam Houston State President Elliott Bowers insisted that a memorial be built at the site. State Senator Caperton from Bryan introduced a bill that would provide $925,000 for an Old Main building memorial. In 1983, the time capsule sealed away in the cornerstone in 1889 was opened, containing campus documents from the late 1880s. A new time capsule was buried during the rededication ceremony in 1987, containing news stories and photographs of Old Main before and after the fire, a student catalog, and a letter from Bowers to those who follow in our footsteps, in which he reflects upon the building's uniqueness. The new capsule will be reopened in 2087.